Today's show is brought to you by High Tech Tactical, Hoosier Racing Tire, Steve's Auto Machine. Also brought to you by 41 Shocks, Knockout Graphics, Smiley's Racing Products, Bulletproof Products, Donco Plumbing, Schonefeld Headers, FB Designs, Ibex Race Bumpers, and RLD Productions. Now back to our show, Sooners Limited Modified Series. And a good evening. Welcome to another edition of Sooner Limited Modified Series, live from Edmond, Oklahoma. Larry Carr and Steve Slater going on about the Sooner Limited Modified Series race from this previous week, and we're going to have some guests, some sponsors. But before we start out, how about this point standing list, guys? 32 points from the leader. Jared Baird is hot to trot behind Robert Elliott, and Heston Shaw with only 7 points behind Jared Baird. What kind of a race is going to happen in the next couple of weeks that's going to shake this up?
The thing is those three, particularly, those three have been between first and third almost every week, and nobody can get away and nobody can gain any. It's just staying right there. I was actually looking at the results here a while back, and I think I've kind of shared it to you guys. Robert was, I think his average in the features was second place, and Jared's is fourth in the features. This is all for the feature averages, by the way. Heston's is third, and Don Reed for top four. He's seventh, and Todd Decker, he's eighth on his average on the feature. So it's real hard to get away from everybody when you got averages like that in the top five.
And then you got Jeff Roselle, right, your previous champion, sitting in 8th place, fighting for it. He's like 200 points behind the leader. I mean, he's going to have to win like 3 or 4 races just to catch up.
Yeah, and he set out a couple races, so that didn't help him any at all.
Yeah, I think he actually only set out one.
One for sure. One.
Yeah. And if you're running for points, you miss one race, man, it can really hurt you.
I guess 2. I'm sorry, because it says you got 4 features out of we've run 6. So.
Right. I think he didn't make the A one night.
Make the A one night. That's right. I remember that. That's it. Yeah. So he has only missed 1 race actually.
And then you got the last week's feature, your A feature, your first, second, and third place, fighting for points. Place first, second, and third, right in a row with Jeff Roselle in 4th. You got Don Reed right behind that. I mean, what a top 5.
Yep. And Jimmy Wright's right there, top 10. He's a top 10 in the points right now, too.
Yeah, he just broke into the top 10 last weekend. He's actually missed 1 race as well. Of course, that was the second race of the year.
I've been keeping up with Jimmy. I've been watching him.
Jimmy made the hard charter last weekend too. He passed 8 cars, and
Jimmy,
he's really excited about getting the hard charter award.
Jimmy got some help. Jimmy went and asked somebody for a little bit of assistance, and they came to his rescue. And like most of our drivers will, we helped him out with some setup stuff and went over his car with him. And I know all that because I follow them all on Facebook, of course. And apparently it's really helped Jimmy out with the way the car handles and stuff. So, that's great. Whatever you got to do to keep competitive and keep moving up, that's what you got to do. Sometimes you got to be not afraid to say, hey, I'm lost here. Can you help me?
Right. No, don't be shy. So
And I see Heston finished second at the.
Yeah, he did picking Ada, and I'll tell you what, man.
I'm telling you, the
Before
Green
you know it,
Boy's
he's
coming.
gonna have a feature.
He's coming. He's gonna, you know, and they better watch out for him when it comes to the points at the end of the year too, because it's that guy that can consistently finish second and third and stuff like that. That a lot of times comes out at the end on top. In fact, if I remember rightly, last year that was pretty much the way that Jeff Roselle did it. He may have won one or two features, but I think mostly it was showing up every night and finishing in the top five.
He actually didn't win a feature at all last year with us.
There we go. There's my point made. Point made right there. So, saying it again, said it before, watch Heston Shaw. Heston Shaw's a comer, and he's going to take home an A feature this year, and he's going to be somebody to look at when it comes down to points championship time, and it ain't going to surprise this guy at all if he is the champion at the end of the year. And when all that comes said and it's done, you guys can come back and say, well, damn, Larry, you were right.
Right? Yeah. No, I'll be honest with you. I've watched Heston race for a long time, and I've seen him race some stock cars, stuff like that. He's done really great with it. But when he came out in this on this series this year, I did not expect him to just jump out like that, man.
I didn't either.
He jumped out and really done really well, and it's been really great watching him, and it seemed like every week he's getting faster and faster. I had somebody ask me. You know as well as I do, anytime you make a move from one class up to a higher class, there's a learning curve. Some classes, the learning curve is a little bigger. Some classes, the learning curve is a little smaller. But there is that learning curve. And for Heston, he has just adapted to that thing just like he was still driving a stock car. Right. Yeah, just like he's just a natural at it.
Yeah. Like this is what he's been doing all along. So, hats off to him, and you're absolutely right. He has just done way better than I have expected, and apparently way better than you expected.
Yeah. I had somebody ask me a couple days ago, or maybe last night or something. They said, "What makes them tick? What makes the top five guys what makes them fast?" And I said, I've stayed in the infield a few times, just kind of watching these guys, just kind of keep an eye on everything, make sure everything's going good. And I can watch everybody kind of lift right at the apex. Those guys are going another 2 car lengths in deeper than everybody else before they even lift.
Yeah.
And I've been...
They're driving it in deeper.
Yeah. And I think... I think the first night Heston kind of getting the adjustments to the car, then I've been noticing he's doing the same thing like the rest of everybody else is, those top 5 guys. But it's interesting what 2 car lengths will do when you drive it in deeper, because those 2 car lengths add up.
Absolutely. To switch gears, before we start with our first guest, I want to just ask you guys what you guys are looking at this weekend, due to the fact that the track we're racing at this weekend, you guys had a heck of a storm down there. I guess did some damage to the track, or at least some of the bleachers and whatnot.
Yeah, they are currently working on it right now. I actually was going to have them as one of our guests tonight, but he said they're going to be too busy, but don't worry, we will be racing this Saturday at 7:30. So it is not an issue.
Yeah, they did get, they got a little wind damage up there, Elk City. In case you don't know what we're talking about or where we're going next week, we're going to Elk City. You're going to Elk City. Again, you're off without me.
Yeah. Been kind of lonely about you.
But yeah, they got a little bit of wind damage up there, tore the bleachers up and stuff. So, Mother Nature hadn't done too bad on us this year. We missed a race or two, but She's come pretty hard a couple of weekends.
Yeah. You know, we've been having some weird weather for the last, weeks.
Yeah.
I never seen I never seen a storm blow in from the northeast like we have.
Did you notice we didn't get a spring? We went right from winter to hot summer. I mean, there was no springtime in there at all. No 70-degree days, no 74s, 75s. It was just boom, 80s, 90s. You know.
That's actually the same thing up. That's actually the same kind of thing we had up here. We came out of winter, went straight to hot, and then all of a sudden we had like the first 3 or 4 weeks of racing season as it started up here was nothing but frickin' rain. Every track canceled everything for the first 3 weeks. I don't think they got one race in the first 3 weeks.
You haven't even made it to a race yet this year, have you?
No, I have not. I took a little bit of a promotion at work, so I have been pulling double duty at my full-time job. And I've just been so busy with everything and also working on the radio stuff here at the house.
That's got to be eating at you.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely is. I miss the guys. I miss the tracks. I'm working on another track to try to get in there. We're just playing email tag with the promoter there. Well, I got drivers emailing me, when you coming? And I'm trying. I'm also building a camera unit. I got a loaner, standard def video camera. I need an SD card and a microphone for it. I got a new battery for it. So I'm kind of mobile, plus I've got the tripod set up for it with a big widescreen attached to the tripod so I can really watch it, but now I need power to get to it, and getting power for the infield is kind of tough unless I'm like right at somebody's trailer with a generator. So we're trying to figure out all the little kinks and what we need to do to get them units set up, and at the same time trying to get some free time so that we can get to the track. But yeah, it's been a pretty good bummer. I've missed a lot of good racing. We had an excellent race the other night. It was a 61-lap feature race with 12-lap heat races in dedication, called a tribute race in dedication to Jumpin' Jack Johnson. Which was the number 12, I think it's 12A or 12C or something. He's like one of the big modified guys up here from our history, one of the best of the best. And so they ran 12-lap heat races to tribute him. And then the feature race for the modifieds was a 61-lap feature in honor and tribute of C.D. Coville, which we actually had Super C.D. Coville on the radio Monday night here with Ed Lamberton. So it was kind of a big week, and I was sitting on my couch watching Race Monitor on my phone, which decided to stop working, so I still don't know who won the 61-lap race.
Yeah, that's tough.
What was that?
Say what?
I think our guest is over here waiting on the line. He might fall asleep by now.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Oh, he there.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from High Tech Tactical and also from the Sooner Limited Modified Series, driver and sponsor. He goes by many names. We'll call him Eddie Sweeney tonight, or Fast Eddie, or Cousin Eddie, or whatever he can get away with on Facebook. Hi, Eddie. How are you?
Outstanding. Loving this heat.
Welcome to the show.
I appreciate you guys having me on.
You're loving this heat. You have to be the only one.
That's that Arizona blood, I guess.
Oh yeah. I forgot you're out there where I'm from. Yeah, you and me, this stuff doesn't bother us. I can't do the cold. The cold just, it's too hard on me.
I'm fat now. I can handle the cold.
Right. That's what I need to build some insulation here. So tell us what's going on. Tell us what's going on with High Tech Tactical, and we've had you on board with us now for a couple of years as a sponsor, and we of course want to say thank you for that. Last year you come on board and brought us a little toy to auction off, raffle off, and we did that, and I think that was a pretty successful promotion.
Oh yeah,
this year,
as far as I know, Randy hasn't shot his eye out yet, and hopefully he's enjoying that AR.
Right. And this year you came back, and you're on board again. And tell us what it is you've got for us this year.
We decided to give a hunting rifle away right before hunting season. We got a brand new in the box Savage Axis 270. It'll come scoped and brand new in the box, ready to get sighted in and go find Bambi.
Cool. And they can buy those tickets or chances or whatever at the track.
Yeah, Steve has he's usually got a whole roll of tickets if anybody wants to buy a whole roll or buy one or buy three or buy seven, or it's $10 a shot or 3 for $10, and I think he's doing 7 for $40.
Yep, that's right. $10 a piece, 3 for $20 or 7 for $40.
So either way, $10 for a $300 hunting rifle is not a bad deal.
Not a bad deal at all.
I guarantee you Randy Thompson's beyond pleased with his raffle ticket purchase.
I guarantee. You're right. You're absolutely right.
AR-15 right now seems to be gaining some value.
I got a quick question for you, actually, if I could just chime in there, Eddie. How about if someone up here in New York or out of state wanted to purchase a raffle ticket for this rifle? Obviously, it's got to go through
I'm a licensed gun dealer, and all I would need is your local gun dealer's information, and I can ship it straight to them, and then you go pick it up there.
Excellent.
Real simple.
Because I've had a couple of guys ask, well, because they were interested in buying a ticket, but they weren't sure, well, how would we, if I won the rifle, how would I get it? And I said, well, I believe they can just send it to another gun dealer up here. And
yes, the only thing that you would probably have to do is if a gun dealer there charges a transfer fee, you'd have to pay his transfer fee.
Oh, okay.
But we will ship it for free to the dealer of your choice.
And that brings us to a good point right there. You can buy tickets on PayPal. So if you're somewhere out there and either you can't get to the track or you're listening to us on Facebook from somewhere far away, you absolutely can go and pay for the tickets or buy tickets on PayPal. I think I've got a link here that's https www.paypal.me/Slater00. And if you want that, you can get a hold of us, and we'll give you the information in person or on Facebook, or you can message us on the Center Limited Modified Series Facebook page or on the regular web page, either one. And if you want tickets, we'll hook you up on how to get tickets so you can buy that hunting rifle. So that brings us to where I was going to go anyway, Eddie. What is High Tech Tactical?
We're just kind of a home-based business, something my son and I started as more or less as a hobby to kind of fund our own interest in going out and shooting. It turned out to be a fairly simple process, applying and getting the licensing and getting the business stuff through Oklahoma. Luckily, Oklahoma is very gun-friendly, and that part was easy to start down at everybody's favorite place, the tax commission.
Mm-hmm.
And for the most part, we just do gun shows. We're not a brick and mortar. We're word of mouth, and several of the guys at the track have, they buy guns from someone else and ship them to me, and I transfer, just like it would be, if somebody out of state won the hunting rifle.
Right.
We have a lot of fun at gun shows. You get to meet a lot of interesting people. Not as interesting as people at the racetrack, but.
How long you been doing that?
We've been doing it for 3 years now.
Pretty good. Sounds like it's
off and
been
on.
pretty
It's
successful.
a spare time hobby more
Cool.
than anything else. And I come up with the idea to raffle one off to help build our points fund last year, and it kind of took off, and we ended the season pretty good sales. We're going a little slow right now, but nobody's thinking about deer hunting right now when it's 100 degrees out.
Right. So let's go ahead and do the tie-in, because obviously somehow High Tech Tactical, Eddie Sweeney, and Sooner Limited Modified Series go together, and the answer to that is Eddie's not only a licensed gun dealer, he's also a race car driver, and in fact sometimes races with the Sooner Limited Modified Series. So tell us about the Eddie Sweeney racing experience and how long you've been doing this. I know it's a family thing. Give us the whole background.
Yeah, it's probably going on 4th generation racers with Kyle joining the mix. Kyle Sweeney, my nephew, runs a A-Mod or IMCA mod, whatever they're called, depending on what track you show up at that night.
Right.
We started out drag racing. My dad drag raced from when he was 16, and then ran late models when you could actually recognize it as a stock-bodied car back in the 70s and 80s. My brother got into it, and I got into drag racing and joined the Air Force, and they decided I needed to live in Oklahoma. So we ended up here, and then eventually talked my whole family to move into Oklahoma. And with it, we brought a couple race cars and started our Oklahoma racing career in Ada. Kyle's had a couple track championships around the state, and we did real good in the USRA one year. I've not had the success any racer has wanted to have necessarily, but I've won a few here and there, and got out of it for a while after having some shoulder surgery from working on airplanes, and just now got back into it 2 weeks ago. First time in the car in probably 9 years. Was completely happy to leave Ada with a 5th place finish.
You did real well. The car looked real good, too.
Other than having some duct tape for numbers on there, catching a little bit of flack from all my close friends that love to give me a little razz. But I'm sure a lot of it's earned.
Well, you know how that goes. You know, I know you were listening the night that we talked to them, to some of the graphics people about duct tape and how they feel about it. So,
well, it's not the best looking, but sometimes you do what you got to do.
Absolutely.
We're
so how you like racing with the
first and foremost?
How you like racing with the series?
Talented group of guys. My goodness, these guys have so much dedication and talent and bring to the table in the Sport Mod series or Limited Modified series that it's unbelievable.
Totally agree.
I watched Robert Elliott drive last night in his own car at Lawton, and the guy is a rocket.
We talk about
it doesn't matter what car he gets in.
Absolutely. We talk about that a lot on here, about the level of competition, and we talk about it, and it's one thing when we talk about it, but when basically every driver on here has said, has commented on the fact that, the level of competition in the Sooner Limited Modified Series is as good as you're going to get in any Limited Modified Series around, so.
And any given night, you can throw a blanket over the top 5. It's just It's great fun. It's fun to watch. It's fun to be behind the wheel, even in the back, and watch these guys work. And try and learn as much as I possibly can as they're lapping me.
Yes, it happened.
But yeah, they're a good group of guys. No matter when you could break your car in half, and there'd be 5 of them show up trying to help you get it put back together so you can make the show.
Right.
That's
Absolutely
probably
right.
that's probably the greatest thing that nobody realizes about dirt racing is that they'll fight you for taking them out, but they'll sweat and bleed and do whatever they can to get you going so you can get in there and race.
Yep. Seen it a million times. It's a great thing. It's a very, very close and strange from the outside relationship, because just like you just got through saying, they'll fight you over taking them out and stuff. And I mean, fist fights will happen. They have happened. It will happen again. But at the same time, or right, down the road, somebody's got 6 guys over there. Well, as I think it was Robert Elliott was talking about the last time he was on, when you pull in with a flat tire, you don't never know for sure who's going to be helping work on your car, because 18 guys are suddenly jumping around that car. There's guys from your crew, there's guys from other crews, and everybody's lending a hand. And it's the same thing in the pits. If you need a fan belt, you need this, you need a ball joint. You walk around, you ask 2 or 3 guys, and the next thing you know, you've got more of them than you can possibly deal with.
Oh yeah, when Elliott came in with a flat tire, I don't know if he left with one of his own when he went back on the track.
Yep.
I mean, it was just, I don't think they used a jack. 5 guys were over there and had the car up and the wheel off before he stopped. It was NASCAR style. It was incredible.
And that's cool to see, and it really is like that, and I love it for the fans to get a little bit of a taste of that. I wish there was some way that we could focus more on that and stuff, but maybe someday we can do a behind the scenes show from inside the pits at the racetrack while the races are going on, or something, to show people how things are done over there, and what a close-knit family really it is.
As long as it can be unedited, because there's some salty language over there at times.
That would be the thing. It would have to be probably a bleep every 5 seconds.
Dusty White wants to know if you use duct tape for your lettering.
I had to 2 weeks ago. We got new right side door and quarter, and I'm hoping my graphic guy can get me a couple numbers cut for Saturday.
All you got to do is call FB Designs and tell them I got duct tape numbers. They'll show up on Friday night.
That's it.
One of the first guys to give me grief, I think, was my promoter for this series.
Stevie Slater would never give anybody any grief. Would you, Stevie?
Yeah, I also gave him grief about him getting in that car. I still ain't figured out how he got in that car yet. Or out.
I'm telling you, gravity helps with the in. It's out that is a whole nother show together.
Is that why there's a winch on the trailer?
The more he races in this heat, the smaller of a guy he's going to end up being,
Right.
That's what I said. I'm loving this heat. I'm fitting on a fire suit again. I can get in and out of the car.
That's why I retired, so I couldn't get in the window anymore. I had to retire.
I needed to find out all I can about the next guest, how I can get a pop-off roof.
Well,
Right.
hang around and we'll see what we can do about that. We'll have to talk to him here in a few minutes. Richie, is it about commercial time?
Sure.
Well, not to run you off, Eddie, we'll be right back, and we'll talk to you some more in just a minute, but we do need to take a commercial break here real quick and pay some bills and feature one of our sponsors. So we'll do that, and we'll be right back.
Today's show is brought to you by High Tech Tactical, Hoosier Racing Tire, Steve's Auto Machine. Also brought to you by 41 Shops, Knockout Graphics, Smiley's Racing Products, Bulletproof Products, Donco Plumbing, Schonefeld Headers, FB Designs, Ibex Race Bumpers, and RLD Productions. Now back to our show, Sooners Limited Modified Series.
So, Eddie, real quick, let's thank all the people that make it possible for Eddie Sweetie.
I couldn't do any of it without my mom. She's a huge help. My wife putting up with the long nights out in the shop and the cussing and the complaining about everything involved in this awesome hobby that we all decided to love. My son, Cody Sweeney, my main wrench, he's really the one that gets the car ready and keeps everything going and allows me to work full time and play as much as we possibly can. Of course, High Tech Tactical is a good contribution to the cause. M&M Mowers down in Purcell. Couldn't do a lot of it without them and my nephew Kyle Sweeney. And just appreciate Stevie Slater working as hard as he does to make this thing go round and round.
Well, we appreciate you calling in and being a sponsor for the series. We appreciate your contribution, and we appreciate all those kind words. And, of course, we appreciate you joining in with the series and coming out with us when you can. We appreciate all our drivers because, well, without the drivers, we wouldn't be doing much of anything. So thanks a lot, Eddie.
We'll get to see that Larry Carr guy show up at the track on one of our nights we race.
One of these Sooner Limited Modified Series nights, Larry Carr will actually make an appearance. I believe it's coming up here in the month of July. But, yeah, that's the way it's been. So thanks for being on, and if you want to hang out and listen to what's coming up, you're more than welcome to. Real quick, I would like to talk about the rest of our sponsors, and then we'll go to our next guest. We'll just phase right into that, Randy, if that's all right with you.
Sounds great.
All right, so we want to thank FB Designs, that's Fat Boy Designs, our buddy Dusty White for graphics work. Hoosier Tires, what do we have to say about Hoosier Tire? Everybody runs on Hoosiers. Knockout Graphics, of course, Angie Fletcher and the folks over there, great graphics job. Helps everybody out with their wraps and stuff and helps us out with any of our graphics needs. Smiley's Racing Products, man, you cannot possibly say enough about Smiley's. They help all of us, everybody that races, every series, every track. You just can't race without Smiley's. Bulletproof Products, we want to thank them. They helped out this year with the Fallen Hero 50 T-shirts, and that was really cool. Donco Plumbing, of course, those guys kick in and help us out all the time. TCC Total Custom Carbs and Dynos, 41 Shocks, Steve's Auto Machine, of course, Eddie and High Tech Tactical, Images ×2, Ibex Motorsports, KR Performance Fuel, Schoenfeld Headers, and, of course, our newest sponsor and our guest this evening is Randy Conway with Quick Rescue Roofs. And, Randy, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions, and mostly I'm just going to turn the rest of the show over to you and let you talk about your product and what it is and why we think it's going to be such a great thing and how you got involved in it. But first, let's talk about Quick Rescue Roofs. How long has that been around? How long has the company been around?
Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate you inviting me part of your show. We actually started this company. Actually, the product was actually come out of some tragedy for us. But really, our first prototype we started probably in August of last year, and our first production model really didn't hit the shelves until probably April. And really, this 2018 has been more of a test year for us, just getting things rolling out, and it's really taken off. It's been pretty exciting and a lot of fun.
So give us your background. You're a race. You have a background in racing?
Yeah, the racetrack for us has been a family sport forever. Back when we were a kid, my dad used to race back in the day, and my brother and I raced a lot. And when we went to the track or at the shop, it was Grandpa and us and his grandkids. So it was such a great deal. And realistically, what happened with us and where this whole thing come from is my brother actually had a heart attack in a race car about a year ago, and I was at the track, and the safety crew just did an awesome job. But unfortunately for us, by the time they got him out, he was gone. So he put up a hell of a fight. It took a while, but actually this product is really a tribute product to Robbie Connolly, my brother, and the design and everything about it was actually the thought of between me and my nephew Chase, Rob's boy, while we were in the waiting room in the hospital. We were hoping he was going to come back to us, and we worked on it for a couple of days, and Chase actually designed the first prototype for us, and been working on it now for about a year, and it's been a really interesting journey, for us, and really what we were trying to do is turn a terrible situation into something good in his memory. And he had such a positive outlook, and the cool thing about the racing industry and the racing family, you guys know, is everybody supports everybody. I was just listening in earlier. That's a cool part of it, and the reception that we've got across the country, not only for our product, but the support for for Rob when he following his passing. It's just been really, really a lot of positive energy, and it's been awesome. So that's basically where our company started from, and it's two of us. It's me and my nephew, and we've got a really good core of people that have helped us out a lot, and we're just kind of getting it off the ground. And really, the goal was just primarily to get the product on some cars and do some testing, and the thing's just kind of blowing up on us a little bit here, and it's been a lot of fun.
Great. So it sounds like it had a base at a really good place. So let's talk about the product itself. Exactly what do you sell, and why do we love it so much? Because I can tell you right now, Stevie and I think it's going to be great, and we think that everybody probably should have one.
Well, I appreciate
everybody
that
races.
Yeah, I appreciate that. We've got a manufacturing partner up here in Minot, North Dakota, or up in North Dakota, that has been doing a lot of manufacturing for oil field services, service companies building rigs and things. So they've got some really high-tech equipment. And I reached out to Josh Martin up there and told him what we were up to, and it was a really good partnership between us and them on this design. But basically, what it amounts to, the killer app, so to speak, of our product is, the under rail system that's part of our roof. And when I say that, basically what we have is we sell an outer shell. In fact, the kit that we sell includes all the bolts, everything you need to hook it all up. It comes in a really small box, so it's really easy for shipping. That was one of our big key pieces to getting this product going right out of the gate, was make sure we could ship it all over the country and not have a huge shipping bill. So the shipping costs on it are really expensive. It bolts together in three main pieces. You mount it on the car, and then what happens is the whole center section is just built out of race aluminum. The racer builds it himself, slides it in, and the way that the whole concept works or comes together is the original design that we have. We had two body bolts, 7/16-inch body bolts that we mounted through the top of the roof down into a piece of angle iron that Chad Weirs builds over at Weirs Machine for us. So it really, the way to get a guy out of the car was to, I better back up here. Sorry, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. So you slide. What happens is you put the outer shell on the car. You mount your A-pillars and your sail panels on. You bolt the frame to the front. You do your support pieces just like you do a normal roof. And then once you've got that all set, you slide a piece of race aluminum in from the back towards the front, and there's a lip on both sides and in the front that locks it in place, and then the 2 bolts that come in from the top, and that's what holds your entire center section of your roof on. Safety crews need to get you out. All they need to do is undo the 2 7/16" bolts, and the entire roof slides out the top. And there's lots of benefits to it from our perspective. I mean, obviously from my example that I gave, it would have definitely shaved a lot of time. It would have turned minutes into seconds for us, which would have been great. But even just a matter of getting in to assess the situation, figure out what's going on with the driver. These cars are so small, the access on the side, and there's so many safety products that are fantastic for keeping guys in the cars. And really, when we designed this, we designed it so we could get guys out of the cars as quickly as possible. And we were kind of under the radar for a long time on this product, and we were pushing them out to some cool racers around the country that were comfortable enough working with us and putting our product on. And then a friend of mine, Eric Laudenschlager, went and put a video on Facebook, and we got like 25,000 views or something like that. So it kind of opened up the can of worms a little bit, and we appreciate that. But the publicity and the support from around the country that we got just from that one video was pretty cool.
Well, we're really excited about having you on board, and we're really, really excited about the product. When Stevie first introduced it to me, I was like, oh, man. I said, this is something that like I said earlier, everybody's got to have. Anything that would make it quicker and easier for a rescue crew to get you out of a car if you were incapacitated. We all think, well, I'm going to go out here Saturday night, I'm going to race, and I'll get out of the car. Well, what if something happens to you and you can't get yourself out of the car and other people have to get you out? How hard or easy is it going to be to get out? Like our guest, Jared Baird, said the other night, he realized that when he was trying to get out of his car in a hurry just to accept a trophy the other night, he realized he can't get out of his car with his helmet on. Now, that normally, big deal, right? You take your helmet off and you get out. No big thing. Okay, well, if you're unconscious, should the unforeseen happen, and for some reason you're unconscious in that car, how's anybody else going to get you out of it if you can't get out with your helmet on? And the quick rescue roof, if you ask me, is just a no-brainer on this deal, because it's going to make it where rescue crews can access you easier. It's going to make it easier to assess what the situation is once, if you're in the car. And it's not, Stevie and I have seen over the past 5-10 years, a couple of our friends who were drivers have health issues while driving, and it's not the accident, it's not the thing that we're already preparing for that has taken them. It's been a medical issue, and who knows how much getting a guy out of a car faster might have changed the situation.
Oh, that's for sure, guys. And there's other pieces to this too. I mean, I have I've raced a fair amount in my day, and I race mostly stock cars actually, but I've raced a modified, IMCA modified. There was a local series up here way back in the day I used to race as well. But we know that as racers, when we get in there, that we are taking risks. And in the times that we've been out there, I mean, it's not hard to take a rock in the helmet or to the shoulder. It's drive shafts come off these cars occasionally. You can create some leg injuries, things like that. And, if you get hit the wrong way, even if you're wearing all the right stuff, we've always run, since they've been available, we've always run full containment seats, and, I have a LaJoy seat myself, and, we have Hans devices and things, but you take a hit in the wrong spot, you got a sore neck, and really as a driver, you have a chance, you have a choice, tell the safety crew to start cutting me out, or try to get out on your own. And, I mean, I remember, a few years ago when I was racing, I took a hard hit, and it took me a while to get out without a helmet on. And I honestly was very concerned that I had a serious injury. And with this, you take that roof panel off, you slide it out. Nobody even knows that you're hurt, and you can stand up and get out. One of the other things, and I've been really sensitive or maybe more conservative on the other benefit of it, and which in my opinion is and this may get me in a little trouble here, but the we don't advertise that you can get out without assistance, but I've seen it. Eric's video shows exiting. Kyle Brown, when I was down at Harris Race Cars showing him the roof, that was one of his big things, is he wanted to make sure that he could design, the way he did his, he could get out of his without any help. And, if you got a fire or there's a fuel leaking and a guy can push his way out, or at least somebody can come along and just, even if they damage the center section of your roof to extract you quickly or allow you to get out quickly, or you push out on your own, man, if you can get out in a matter of, a couple of, 3 to 5 seconds versus trying to undo everything and take a helmet off and your Hans device and try to slide out the side window, that's a pretty scary deal. So, I mean, there's all kinds of benefits to this thing that, we're not saying this is the only solution. I mean, the oldest thing in the books, guys, is a escape hatch on their cars, but the problem is most guys don't want to run them. We didn't want to run them. I've always thought they were kind of ugly, and they're bouncing around up there. And with this, that was really what we were going for, is how do we give another solution that can get a guy out of a car without having to make it look like it's on a hinge. So that was a big part of our design as well. And I mean, when you look at these, and as your customers, they want to look online, or if you guys see them, and hopefully Jared gets on his car sometime soon, you guys are able to see. I mean, it's a nice looking product. I mean, we spent a lot of time trying to make it look racy, and everybody that has it, all the feedback we've had has been really good from the racers that have run them.
Excellent. So, how do we find your product? How do we order one if we wanted to?
Right now, we have again, we've kind of kept our distribution network pretty tight, but we've the easiest place right now to get them probably would be Carl's Chevrolet out of Iowa, and then Dakota Trackside here in Minot, North Dakota, Wyatt over there, or from Todd Shute. But there's suppliers all across the country that have expressed interest and looked at them. Performance Bodies has been looking at them with us. They haven't placed an order yet, but I do know that they've had them. I mean, I think Speedway has the ability to get them as well. But your customers are going to have to ask. I haven't. I was listening on your show here prior to getting on your call, and we haven't had a contact with Smiley's yet. But I know. I mean, we're open to setting up dealer networks as we move forward here, and we don't have many people in your area that are even familiar with this. So, maybe we can, through this working with you guys, we can expand that network a little bit. But right now, the easiest place to get them most likely be Carl's or Dakota Trackside, and then I know they both have them in stock, and then hopefully we can continue to expand that network here as we move forward.
Or if they can get real lucky and lead the halfway point of one of the races that you sponsor, then they can just get one for free. Yeah, that's the best way to get one, I think.
Yeah, how about that Fallen Hero 400 or 450 you guys had? That was so cool. When Stevie reached out to me and told me about that deal, I had to get involved in that. I mean, I don't think it gets any better than that. That's cool. You guys do a really good job down there, Stevie. I'm obviously not there at the track and things, but I don't know. I haven't seen anybody work with sponsors or companies any harder than he does. I mean, you guys do a really good job down there. I'm impressed.
He does. He really puts his heart and soul into the deal, and we're lucky to have him on board. Randy, thank you very much. Is there anything else you want to throw at us before we turn you loose?
No, I appreciate your guys' involvement, and good luck with your race season, and let me know how else I can help.
Thank you very much for your involvement. We appreciate you not just coming on the show and talking about your product, but flowing in with the Sooner Limited Modified Series and sponsoring along with us like you have. Thank you very, very much.
All right. Well, thanks, guys.
Randy could be over Humboldt.
Excuse me?
I said, I think we're trying to convince you to come over to Humboldt this year, right?
That would be fun. That's the next. That's coming up here in a couple of weeks, right? So we've been the craziest thing here, guys, for me is I got a full-time job, and this thing's kind of come out of nowhere. So I've been hiding a little bit. So we've been my nephew's been racing as well, so we've been helping out a little bit there. And no, it's a really strange year for us at the racetrack, and we're kind of getting back on our feet a little bit here. And but yeah, that Humboldt deal you guys have coming up, wow, that's another great show, and I'm sure all your shows are good, but that one seems pretty exciting. You match up against another series, so
we're going to look forward to. Well, thanks again for being on, Randy. We appreciate you very much.
Okay,
Randy Conway with Quick Rescue Roofs. A great product. Look it up if you haven't seen it yet. If you don't know what we're talking about, take a look. Obviously, they're available in a couple of different places. Maybe not out there or just everywhere yet, but sounds to me like some of the distributors are about to get on board with him really hard. So that should be great for him and for them. So, Stevie, let's talk about what's coming up. You've got Elk City coming up next week.
Yeah, we got Elk City this Saturday coming up.
Or this weekend, not next weekend. This weekend.
Yes, this weekend. Yeah. Been talking to them quite a bit. They, like I said, they had a little bit of storm damage, but they said no worries, we'll still be racing. Just want to remind everybody, especially the drivers, make sure you drink plenty of water and fluids, before the night before and during the day, because I think it's supposed to be a pretty warm weekend, and I just want to make sure everybody's good to go for this weekend. So,
well, that's good information right there. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think
this is a no-brainer, guys, but I'm going to say it anyway. Hold the alcohol consumption until after the races. Alcohol in the heat, it doesn't really take your thirst away any, and it's not helping you any, and it's just not a good idea. So I'm just going to put that out there.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah, but like I say, it's I just don't want to see anybody getting overheated this weekend. So
and it'd be really easy to do.
But I do appreciate everybody showing up, and I'm getting a lot of text message calls and all kinds of good things. Sound like we're going to have a pretty good little show this weekend, so I'm pretty excited about that. I know it seemed like everybody in Elk City was going to be pretty thrilled about about us being there.
Right. Well, I was saying that I hadn't been to Elk City before, but Hannah reminded me that I have indeed been to Elk City before. She remembered a little restaurant that we ate at up there, and I was like, oh, okay, so yeah, we have been to Elk City before, and I was looking forward to going back there, and I'm sure before the year's out we'll get to get back up there, just not going to be able to make it this weekend.
I thought you went over there with the late models this year.
I did. I went over there with the late models, exactly. She had to remind me of that. And like I said, it was only because we were talking about a restaurant down there that she liked. She kind of likes her food,
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna start at 7:30 this Saturday night, and we're just gonna put them. I did talk to them about this weekend. I just want to let all the drivers know, but I'll probably remind them this coming weekend as well. When we get to the track, we are going to have a meet and greet. I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do an intermission or whatever, but I just want to let these guys know we are going to do a meet and greet. So it'll be good for all the fans to go over and meet all the drivers, and we're also going to have just have a we always want to make sure we throw a pretty good show for them. So
right, might want to have some hero cards with you or something to give away for for the kids.
Yeah, speaking of hero cards, with we got images times 2. They're going to be up there. I don't know. They've been working with Dusty a little bit for hero cards, so FB Design. So just kind of giving you a heads up on that deal. That would be a good thing for all these guys, and
kids eat that up too.
Yeah,
kids absolutely eat that up. They love that stuff. I've still got some that Hannah got when she was little that she's held on to all this time, and she just she treasures them, and kids just love that.
Yeah, they really do. It's a good thing. I mean, I've collected a lot of things in racing. I actually had a flag from, Nikki Smith made the flag, and she had Stevie Smith put on there. And that was when the year when Stevie Smith was driving his pro stock, but he was also driving the late model for my dad.
Right.
Still, right. So
that's cool.
And just little things like that. The kids will always remember it. And I can remember the day I got it.
Right.
It's been a long time. And so yeah, it's all about the next generation.
Yeah.
That's what.
Yep.
That's
how we're gonna keep them interested. How we're gonna get them interested, and how we're gonna keep them interested.
And I can't make no promises, but I may have something else going on this weekend. I may have some shirts.
I've heard a rumor that we might have a big announcement next week. So we'll see how that goes.
But we'll know about that. Still waiting on some other information from some other tracks, and like I said, I don't know yet, but I may have some shirts. I don't know 100%, but I'm feeling like we're getting closer. I know Angie's been working her tail off. She's a good girl. She does all of her wraps and starting to do the T-shirt deal, and I know she's been extremely busy, and every now and then I kind of tease her about it. But I understand that she's got a lot of going on. So I'm hoping that's going to happen. But I won't make no promises. But you might, if you see me there this weekend, might give me a shout, and I might have them. And if I do, I'll be more than happy to start selling some shirts this weekend.
Cool. That'd be cool. Hey, I want to put a plug in. We mentioned a deal that's coming up that's not ours, but it's a pretty cool deal anyway, so I want to put in a plug for that. Coming up the 14th of July over at Oklahoma Sports Park, the Brian Danker Memorial Race. It is a race to pay tribute to the life of Brian Danker, but what they're doing is they're raising money for a fund to help out other racers should they become in need through some sort of a mishap, whether it be on the track or away from the track, some sort of a health issue or something like that. And it's a great deal. It's going to be a great event, and it helps out other racers, not just Brian, but everybody. It's a way for Brian's family. They feel like they want to pay back the racing community for some of the love and support that's been shown to Brian over the years, and this is their way of doing that. So we want to put a plug in for that. So if you're don't have any plans for the 14th of July, put that on your calendar and go over to Oklahoma Sports Park and make yourself a part of the Brian Danker Memorial Race. Coming up this weekend for me, Friday night we'll be down at Ardmore with the Sooner Late Model Series, and Saturday night we'll be at Oklahoma Sports Park with the Sooner Late Model Series. So a couple of events up there. That's what I've got.
You get you a 2-day show, so yeah, that'd be a pretty fun weekend for you.
Yeah.
Well, I lost my train of thought. Well, I was going to say something. Oh, yeah, this weekend. I heard little rumors that we're going to have a few people come in that, I have heard one of has never raced with us before. I think he won last weekend at Ardmore, or 2 weekends ago, or something like that. Kenny Butler, I think that's what his name was. Another guy's coming back that has already won a race with the series. That's Kel Westover was talking about coming over this weekend. So we're going to have some pretty good drivers. And Timmy, that won over to Elk City last weekend.
Yeah.
And, kind of interested what Timmy Johnson's going to be doing with the against the series this weekend. So I think we're going to have a pretty good crowd, and I think we'll have a lot of good drivers. So I guess my question is, what's your pick for this weekend? Who's your pick?
Ooh.
This one you didn't.
Yeah, you did, because I wasn't ready, and I don't know, Elk City, new track. Let's have a new winner. Let's have Heston Shaw take his first one.
Heston Shaw takes his first one. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Now I hope I don't put a jinx on him there, because if he doesn't do well, I'm gonna have to leave him alone from now on. You know.
Right.
What about you? What do you think?
You know, you got me on this one too, because I was thinking the same thing. You know, he's due for one. I know Robert's been pretty good out there. I think he's won a couple over there this year, I believe. I can't remember how many he's won over there, but I know he's been up there a few times and won. Of course, you know, you got Levi. That's usually pretty good out there. He's a regular over there.
Right.
So, you know, I want to throw one up just to throw a loop for everybody. I want to throw on for John Reed.
There you go.
He's been there. He's been close. You know, I feel like
he's been a bridesmaid a couple times.
But you never know.
Right? Oh, you don't, man. That's the whole thing about the series is it really is such a competitive group of guys that it's hard for anybody to accurately predict who's going to win. I mean, it can be any one of about 10 guys.
It really is.
And that's just, you know, if everything goes just the way it has over the last few races of the season, there's about 10 guys that could win. But with a few shockers thrown in there or a few surprises, you know, there's a whole nother 5 or 10 guys that could win.
Yeah, so, I think that'd be a real surprise. I don't know if Richard's still awake. What do you think, Richard?
I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run with a double pack with Robert Elliott, 2 in a row.
Bro, I can see that happening. I really can.
I could do. Well,
yeah.
I guess there's only one way we'll find out. We'll have to go and look and watch.
Right. They don't call him Mr. Sport Mod for nothing. I will say that. True that. So I think it's going to be a good weekend. I like to see all these drivers that we haven't had yet. By the way, I don't know if you've seen how many people we had this year, but we had 60. Hang on. I think it's 65 drivers so far this year.
That's pretty good.
Let me double check that before I say. Yeah, 65 drivers this year is what we had. Our average car count's been 26. So
cool.
I'm pretty excited about our car count. It's been really good.
Yeah. Well, guys, I think that's about brought us to the end of the show again for another week. We do this again next Thursday?
Yeah, we'll be here next Thursday, and I think I might call in one of the Elk City guys, come in and call us.
Sounds good. Once again, we'd like to thank FB Designs, Hoosier Tire, Knockout Graphics, Smiley's Racing Products, Bulletproof Products, Donco Plumbing, Quick Rescue Roofs, KR Performance Fuels, Schoenfeld Headers, Total Custom Carbs and Dyno, 41 Shocks, Steve's Auto Machine, High Tech Tactical, Images ×2, and Ibex Motorsports for their support and their help with the series. And, of course, we want to thank Dirt Track Racing Network for giving us the opportunity to come on here and do the show. And all of you folks for tuning in and for all of the comments that we get telling us what a great show it is and how much you appreciate it. We thank you very much. And until next week, on behalf of Stevie Slater and Richard White, I'm Larry Carr, and I'll be saying good night and good racing.
Good night, everybody.
All right, good night.